Hello, dear students and my lovely friends. Let us now begin with the last two stanzas of the poem. First, we read out the stanza followed by explanation. So, I remember where I was used to swing and thought the air must rush as fresh to the swallows on the wing. My spirit flew in feathers then, that is so heavy now, and summer pools could hardly cool the fever on my brow. The poet again begins with the same line, that is, I remember, I remember. What is he doing? He's underscoring the significance of these memories. I hope that is clear by now. So every time he says, I remember, he's repeating the phrase, he's emphasizing on something. What is he emphasizing on? He's emphasizing on his memories. Now, what is he remembering in this stanza? If you remember, in first stanza, he remembered his house. Second stanza, he did remember the flowers and trees. Third stanza, what does he remember? He remembers the place where he used to swing. I clear this out. There's enough space. Okay. Where I used to swing. So this time he remembers the place where he used to swing and thought the air must rush as fresh to swallows on the wing. Now, what is swallows? Swallows are these birds. I've taken a picture. So this bird is called swallows. And thought the air. So while he used to swing, so while swinging, he felt as if this fresh air that he's feeling while swinging, the air of this fresh air, the freshness of this air, it felt like while swinging, he felt the fresh air rushing past him while swinging. This air, the freshness of this air, it is compared to swallows, how swallows they feel while flying. I repeat, so he remembers the place where he used to swing. Now, what does he remember about this place? While swinging, he felt as if the freshness of the air that is rushing through him, that is rushing through him or past him, at that moment he felt, oh, so this is how swallows feel in their wing while they are flying. So this is the kind of freedom he felt while swinging. So anytime he's talking about swinging, he's talking about freedom. He's also talking about how carefree his life was, the kind of joy he had. My spirits flew in feather then. That is so heavy now. Again, it's a contrast, just like before, but. So, my spirit is the soul. How his spirit felt? It felt like feather. Feather is light. Clear. So, there's no confusion. Yes. So, he says that my spirit felt like feathers then, as if it is so light. Because there was no trouble, there was only happiness in life. So he felt it light, carefree. That is how his life was, because of which he felt that lightness. But how's the life now? It is heavy. How is adulthood? Now, as an adult, he feels weighed down. Weighed down. This heaviness that he's talking about being weighed down by what? He feels burdened. He is weighed down by all the complexities of life. He feels weighed down by the responsibilities and challenges in his life. So now he says that the summer pools could hardly cool. Could hardly cool, that means he's talking about his past. So back then, even the swimming in cool summer pools. So pools that were cool enough during summers. Even swimming in those pools could hardly alleviate this fever that he's talking about. Now, what is the fever here? Fever is the excitement that he had. You will say what kind of excitement he had that, even the summer pool couldn't cool it. So, this is, of course, an hyperbole. We are going to discuss figure of speech later. So, for now, just understand that he is saying that all the water in that pool during the summer, even that pool could not cool down the excitement that I had when I was a child. So even swimming in cool summer pools could barely alleviate the intensity of his emotions and excitement in the past, just like fever that couldn't be cooled down. I hope this part is clear to everyone. If there is any confusion, you have any question, please write it in the comment box. Moving on to the next stanza. I remember the fir trees dark and high. I used to think their slender tops were close against the sky. It was a childish ignorance, but now it is little joy to know I am farther off from heaven than when I was a boy. Again, it begins with I remember, emphasizing. By now, you know what he's emphasizing on. He's emphasizing on the memory, the importance of memory from his past, memory in his reflection on the past. The fir tree dark and high. This time, what does he remember? He remembers the fir tree. If you remember first stanza, he remembered the house and the window from which the sun came every morning. Second, he talked about flowers and tree, one particular tree which is still living. Third stanza, he did remember the swing and how he used to enjoy the time, feeling just like a bird, the freedom and joy he had. Now, in fourth stanza, he is remembering the fir tree. He thought that the slender tops of that tree is very close to the sky. So he recalls the tall fir trees and his childhood perception that their slender tops they touch the sky. So it was his limitless expectations and imaginations that he had as a child. It was a childish ignorance. But now the poet, he acknowledges. What does he acknowledge? He acknowledges that it was his childish ignorance. That this perception about the trees, fir tree, that it is reaching up high in the sky, it was his, it was naive of a child, typical of the childhood innocence. But now it is little joy to know I am farther off from heaven than when I was a boy. He says, at now that I am an adult, there is no joy. There is no joy because I know that I am farther off from heaven now. What is that heaven? The heaven is the excitement. The heaven is happiness, joy that he had as a child. So he now knows this, even if it was a childish ignorance that he had, he was happy. He was happy to believe that the tree is reaching up the sky, which he's not getting anymore because now he knows the reality, which is it was those happy days when we knew that Santa is going to come down and present us with those gifts in our house. So it may have been a childish ignorance, but we were happy with that ignorance. He felt that the tree is reaching high up in the sky and he was happy with that ignorance. He says, which I do not get anymore. I feel that I am very far off from the heaven of joy now than when I was a boy. But now there is a loss of wonder and excitement in his life. Let us quickly go through the last two stanzas again. And again, if you have any questions, please write in the comment section. I will definitely cater to them. I remember where I used to swing and thought the air must rush as fresh to solos on the wing. My spirit flew in feathers then, that is so heavy now, and summer pools could hardly cool the fever on my brow. I remember the fir trees dark and high. I used to think their slender tops were close against the sky. It was a childish ignorance. But now it is little joy to know I'm farther off from heaven than when I was a boy. I know, children, I have not given you figure of speeches here. So, for that, you have to see the next video in which I'm going to cover all the figure of speeches or the literary devices that are being used here. But while I was reading the poem, I am certain about one thing that you all could imagine the house, the window of that house, flowers, trees, how he was swinging. Your tree could be big or small or really reaching up the sky. Fig tree, so all of that imagination was there. So definitely one figure of speech that I'm telling you right away is imagery. Rest of the figure of speeches will be done in next video. So please do watch. Thank you and have a good day.